Hey there. Thought it'd be fun to play a little chess tonight. We're checking out Lee Chess. This is a relatively new chess website online. It's not bad. So we're playing the Sicilian, the open lines. I've been having a lot of fun with g6 in these positions. Now the question is, what's the move order I'd like to pick? Whenever white takes this knight here, that's nice. I get better control of the center. I'd like to always prevent him from playing e5. That's why d6 is often popular. How about we play d6, g6, get those bishops out? So I think this is just the move right here. Simple development. Nice to have that versatile light square bishop, especially with my pawns on dark squares. So if he takes with either piece, I'm taking back with the pawn. The immediate castle. Well, here we go. g6. Queen a5 may come at some point, but it looks like I'm going to be busy on the king's side here. With this fianchetto, he may very well attack. My pieces may seem lost over here on the queen's side. But yeah, bishop g7 is coming soon. Alright, whenever I see that the two knights here, I always want to play h6. And I did mean to say a6, by the way. Let's see here. I only need to play a6 really if I have something to fear with a knight on b5. But with my queen here on her home square, there's not going to be any risk of a fork on c7. I will play this before I go on any excursions with my queen. This is a very comfortable time control. Comfortable if you're used to playing 5-minute chess. See, in my experience, I've always played either really long games or really quick games. The 20-minute is probably really good practice. I should do this more. Maybe you guys could learn a lot more from it too, since I'll have more time to share more deep calculations and ideas. Alright, bishop takes his... Is that good? Yeah. Alright, let's do this now. Now let's develop first. Knight can go here in some lines. Now I'm just going to play this right now. Just going to put pressure on his center. Okay, he plays the passive and, in my opinion, the bad f6. I mean f3. If he's going to be pushing his kingside pawns, he can't be making little passive pawn pushes. He needs to be really pushing his pawns. Doesn't that just block the queen as well? Takes a square away from the knight. I don't feel like that move was necessary. If he was worried about pressure on on e4, there's better ways to defend e4 with like maybe queen d3 or bishop retreat, since the bishop's going to probably move at some point. If I play h6, a6, bishop back, b5, bishop back, b4, where would the knight go? Okay, I'm investing a bit of time in this position. Just trying to formulate a plan. I'm exploring a lot of lines. Alright, well, how about, since I can't think of anything, I'll make him think of something. I'll just crack. I'll play a6. I mean, it's a useful move. In the event of bishop c4, I can attack it again with my knight. Playing my knight to e5 might be a great square for it, making f6 look, I mean f3 look even sillier. So he's probably going to take, right? In which case I take back, still with an attack on the bishop, and I'll try to push c5 as well. Yep, he did take, and I do take. Hard to say where my queen belongs, that's why I really haven't had any reason to move her. It's always nice though when you when you keep your queen mobile right from the home square. If you can continuously develop and keep everything defended, it's nice to have that, you know, it's nice to move your queen once you have a more solid understanding of the way the position will unfold. Okay, so I have rook b8, after which maybe he'll have to just push g6, or I think queen c1 would actually pretty much refute that, unless I could play, I don't know. Well, let's just develop. No reason not to, I say. I guess since I get it for free, I may as well play rook here, because then after the queen goes there, what's the threat? Is he going to try to win my bishop with bishop to h6? That would give me some more time to complete my development and initiate a plan. So you got to give a little to get a little. So I'm thinking, if I play rook b8, the only way he can maintain a slight edge or an equal position would be to play queen c1 with the plan of taking off my bishop. Is there any way I could even prevent that? If I play rook to e8, after something like bishop to h6, my bishop comfortably sits on h8. So, yeah, that's a common tactic in a lot of openings where white or black will attack the fianchettoed bishop with a battery along this c1 h6 diagonal. Sometimes if black hasn't castled, you can defend it by pushing two squares with the h pawn, making it so that anytime the bishop went there, well, it's defended twice by the rook and the bishop. Anyways, so he plays queen d2. Interesting. Which kind of justifies this move now, I feel. And this pawn may be unprotected, but it wouldn't take much to protect it. I have a bishop move, I have queen moves, I have rook moves. I can even push the pawns, so it's still quite versatile, even though it looks a little strange. And the rest of my pawns are excellent. They're well poised for attack. A future attack, mind you. In other words, they're unpredictable. White can't predict which kind of pawn break I'm going to make. It could be anywhere, literally. Any of these pawns could become a killer. Because my position's so solid, I have the fianchetto here. I think him and I should both be aiming for a kingside attack. My queenside pressure is simply going to try to redirect his energy, away from the kingside where I'm going to storm. Gonna play f5 at the right time, I think. Ooh, see, I was hoping he would do that. Now this bishop is looking scared. Starving for squares. Ooh, and this knight here is pinned. If I could put pressure on that knight with queen here. After queen a5. Queen a5 though, he has too many tempi to escape my attack, because this knight's still stuck. I was thinking of sacrifices on e4. Knight takes e4, he has to play pawn takes. Then I could play queen a5. No, because if he wouldn't have to. If I take with the knight, he could simply take back with the knight and just get 2 pieces for the rook, so that's no good for me. This piece here is worth a rook almost. So I feel like this knight needs to do something. Knight h5 is hard to it's a hard move to make because the knight really has no prospects, but it would give me the, advantage of having that pin, that pinned knight. Of course, one rook move and the knight's unpinned, so I don't know. Could play for d5, threatening d4. My dark square bishop is helping my king remain safe, but it's not helping my attack. I feel like in this position I need to lash out pretty soon, or else I'm gonna run out of space for my pieces. Queen c7. At some point planning d5. Connecting the rooks. Protecting c5. Let's do it. Alright, so he played rather quickly. I don't think he has a plan. Oh, he needs a take back? I don't mind, I suppose. Yeah, I was wondering, like, why is he playing so quickly? Ah. So that move just discourages me from doing anything with my e-pawn. It probably was a good idea. Could put my rook opposite his queen. Let's do, I don't know. Do this knight maneuver? No. Hard to say. I could always distract his queen away from this d-file by taking the knight with my bishop, of course. Well, let's just do this. There's no bishop b6 or anything. Just putting my rook opposite his queen. I feel like his queen there discouraged some things. Oh yeah, see? This is what I was talking about. I can just back up and avoid the exchange. And now his bishop's just sitting there, blocking him from ever doing anything with his queen. On the h-file. Excuse me. And whenever that queen does move anyway, that knight might be defenseless. Could play something like knight g4. And if takes, then I take the knight. And if he defends the knight or something, then I'd just take the bishop. I do have bishop g5, I realized. G4. That's a cool way I could get his rook away. His rook is decently placed there, but perhaps I would just be coaxing him to e1, where he would be very effective. e1 would be an excellent square for a rook. I'm already planning against it here. Against rook e1, what would I do? Oh, another thought. I do have queen b6 and queen a7 for free with tempi, with a tempo. I feel like black's doing fine, but white does have a lot of space. I don't think he can break through. I need to be careful for e5 too. That move is going to be coming soon. Maybe I should just go up and play it. If I play e5, it's nice to have that pawn on c6, keeping control of d5. So bishop or knight to g4 is always possible. Maybe I should play knight g4, threatening queen a7, and then knight e3. That looks like a pretty good idea. Also hitting the bishop. Huh. It's interesting. So he did end up playing f3 and f4. So check this out, you guys. I don't know if this is a freebie or not, but looks pretty solid to me. I think the best move here would be to play g5. Or maybe not even, because then after I take and queen takes, I just take the knight. So now he's really got to come up with something. What would I do if I were white at this point? I would probably play f5. Just probably, but not certainly. I think he has to lose a piece or lose the exchange. Yeah, he played f5. Yeah, so I just take. Everything's defended because I have this bishop. After queen there, this pawn takes, my f-pawn takes. There's no checkmate. Well, I'm going to win my piece now. Thank you very much. If pawn takes, probably just f takes. He has no threats, no checkmates. He could try to get some kind of a perpetual, but without this light square bishop, it's going to be tough. Wouldn't that be funny if I played bishop g7? Alright, I can briefly consider h takes. Maybe not so briefly, because after that, his rook is cut off. It's not like he has free access, but no, I just looked at the idea of going rook f8, trading everything off, or encouraging such. I mean, what else could he do? If he doesn't take, I will, and if he moves here, then I take with my bishop. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with these dragon positions. I hope the video isn't too long for you guys, but if you were really calculating throughout the whole vid, it'll go by pretty quickly. I know a lot of chess commentators draw a lot of people with their discussion, but just keep in mind that chess is a thinking game, even if you're watching. So even for those observing, yeah, you can get more out of it by trying to calculate variations yourself and following along with the commentators' variations. Anyways, look at that, b4. What was that all about? Let's get everything off here. He's down material. His pawn structure is bad at this point. I feel like this should be a textbook position to play and win for black at this point. I'm just gonna overwhelm him with my piece count. I'm going to try to trade everything off. Bishop can come back to g7 actually, but his queen isn't particularly inconveniencing me on h6. Alright, we have a check. My queen is well placed now in a defensive c7 square. Could become aggressive if I push the pawn at any point, teaming up with the bishop. Maybe I can play bishop e5. Blockading the pawn, attacking h2. I mean, I'm winning. I have a bishop pair, and he doesn't even have a knight for it. Okay. Rook there. I could play bishop takes pawn, which may be a mistake. I think I have to play here now. We can't let him build up too much pressure against my king with rook here. And e5 is looking pretty solid, but it would cancel any of my attacks on the king. Once again, though, I don't really need to attack the king. I can simply trade things. I even could have taken the rook on the last turn, but I'm so averted to him playing rook h3. I just quickly decided. Alright, so he moves the queen opposite my bishop. This pawn has some pressure on it, so I'm going to take this opportunity to take his rook with check. Okay, do I take the pawn? Would that be a disaster? Yeah, probably. Well, maybe not. I could sacrifice a pawn just to get more stuff off the board. I'm not really sacrificing a pawn if I'm winning one. Forever ruining his pawn structure. But I am giving away a nice central pawn. With check. If I just play rook, he takes pawn though. Let's say he does take with the bishop. I take with the bishop. Queen takes. Then I have things like, well, I was thinking about possibly queen intercept, but yeah, that would actually intercept with check, which would be rather interesting. Forcing the queens off, essentially. Let's go down that line. It looks fun. It looks like it's gonna really simplify the game a lot. The fact that my queen interjects, blocks check with check, I think is really awesome. It's a good variation. I really don't think white can soundly capture right now, even though it's with check on e6. But perhaps he has not too many options, so I don't know. Maybe he has to play it. I'm not taking white in this position. I could push c5, threatening bishop here. Okay, so he's going down this line. Very, very interesting. Forcing the queens off now. I very much like this move. He's like, no, it's with check. I didn't realize he can block with check. No, I'm just kidding. He probably did see that. I mean, honestly, he really probably did. It's like I said, he doesn't have a whole lot of options. So we had the pre-move going. We forced off more material, trading more pawns. Do I just defend my pawns and make him suffer to find a move? Alright, I'll be solid. Just gonna keep my pawns on the board. No need to go into some complicated variation, although this may get complicated if he starts pushing this. If he does push c5, c4, threatening c5, I have a few ideas. I could play bishop attacks rook, and then pawn pushes. I take his rook. He takes my rook. That wouldn't be bad. Okay, but we're not going that way. I could evict the rook first, which I will do. This bishop may look like a ghost piece if I'm not careful, with all of his pawns and pieces on light squares. But the ghost piece will be helping me advance my pawns. So we have a move. We have action. Which way do I capture? It'll be, if I capture this way, it'll be easier to queen a pawn with that square being defended. So let's go this way. Still threatening to win the c-pawn now. Yeah, it really is nice that this bishop's on the queening square. I've got the passer now. My first passed pawn. Will he resign or make a move? Alright, and he blundered the rook. Good game, guys.